saved our ass. If we would have went the rest of this podcast without getting Stin's vocals on the VOD, I would have actually pissed myself. Because I'm going out of town the next couple days, so we couldn't have just like fixed it right there. It would have been, it would have been dire. So thank you. It would have
been fine, but it's better now.
True. We're talking about music, the modern era, 2010s to now, and what we think music is going to progress into in the time coming.
The future.
We covered boom bap. We did a little bit of research on what boom bap music was and how it came to be. And a thing we were kind of deep diving on was we looked up on the internet and said Marley Marl was the first boom bap artist, and he was one of the first for sure, pioneer, no doubt. But then I was doing some digging because I just didn't want to believe that was true for some reason. I was like, no, somebody else. And my brain...
You got real competitive there for a second.
It's just because I knew there was someone else. I was like, no, I heard someone... But then I thought of KRS-One and was like, oh my god, I forgot KRS-One was old. Maybe he was before that. So... we looked it up, and he was a year. It was like a real close year difference.
Yeah. They came out around the same time, but KRS-One released his album before Marley Marl's did. And then they did end up collabing decades later.
Yeah, with the song is called Hip Hop Lives, so that kind of like, ties it all together. And the artist that like grew from that first album that KRS-One put out, I would say kind of perfected the sound. Then you have Wu-Tang and who else? The Far Side, Tribe Called Quest, things like that, where it kind of becomes more cohesive and they understand what boom bap is now. And then MF Doom, we were talking about how he's the best. We kind of had like a...
with Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
Shout out Mr. Fantastic.
Had a little debate who's better, or not who's better. Like what we prefer is like West Coast or East Coast. I myself am more an East Coast. I'm an East Coast guy. East Coast is great. They only got a handful in my...
Is that why you're on that side and I'm on this side?
Maybe. That would explain why. But we kind of got into that. We talked a little bit about how Kendrick is the GOAT. And he's doing great shit for the West Coast. He's kind of like holding it down for the West Coast right now. But
West Coast is popping off too because they have Doechii as well.
There is a lot of talent out there. I'm not gonna deny that, but it's because the music is changing. It's no longer that like West Coast vibey stuff.
In fact, I think the three of the top 5 hip hop albums of 2024 were Doechii, Schoolboy Q, and Kendrick, right? And then you have Tyler as well. Those 4 albums were like in the top 5. And all of those people are... No, Doechii's from Florida, I think, right? So, like... But she's part of Top Dawg Entertainment. So she's associated with the West Coast stuff, you know?
Well, even... Like, it's a hot take again. I love Kendrick's nephew. What is his name? Fucking...
Oh, dude. Baby Keem?
Baby Keem goes hard. And he's like... he's a different sound, for sure. He's not like what a lot of people enjoy, but I feel like that is kind of where hip hop is. Look at what Kendrick's doing right now with hip hop. He's blending a bunch of stuff to make it to where this is kind of what hip hop is going to become, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
He's implementing soul, and like with this last album, it just was very, very good vibe.
It's very... I feel like recently, or maybe in 2024 in general, like the mainstream hip hop or like rap scene has just like been flipped completely on its head, because before in the years preceding 2024, it was just industry plants just everywhere, just owned
Right.
the industry. Just for some reason, it was just industry plant, and you could tell from the music that they were putting out that they were not writing their own music, and they weren't like they didn't have their heart in it, you
Because it was
know.
about
For
clout
some
at that
reason,
point. Like clout was
yeah,
the main focal point of what that version of rap was.
and it's like the social media, like TikTok age, you know, that's what kind of like set all that off. And then in 2024, like I said, you have Dochi, you have Schoolboy Q, you have uh Kendrick and Tyler the Creator, and they're putting out these like genuine, heartfelt albums, and it
Hmm.
just the authenticity, as Cabbage is saying right here. The people want the authenticity, and in 2024, I feel like we got that shit, man.
Yeah, it's definitely they're tired of this overly produced shit and they want something more on the raw side of things. Because you
And
have
you know,
a bunch of artists who are coming up that, like, I mean, look at SoundCloud. It's a great fucking avenue for people to find artists who are underground. We were talking about, like, the East Coast, too. There's a bunch of artists that are holding it down on the East Coast. And I mean, that's where hip hop
yeah,
was kind of invented, was the East Coast. And
yeah.
a lot of stuff, a lot of great shit on that side. And then Kodak Black kind of highlighting him and how he's been a real good breath of fresh air, or it's not even fresh air. He's a pretty musty looking guy, but he writes very good music. He's got like a modern day ODB vibe to him.
Oh,
And
who we're talking about? Kodak.
Kodak Black, yeah. So that
Kodak's fire.
southern style we got in, we were talking about him and we got into
Oh,
southern music or southern
so
rap.
Southern. Remember, we were talking about a few weeks ago that Southern people from the South created trap.
Yeah, because we were talking about Chopped and Screwed. So Chopped and Screwed was like the precursor to
Influenced trap.
trap. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And that I would think
and
is a
then
hot take because just now I
I
was
would
reading,
say
it's like, is it UGK or is it Swish a House that started the movement of like, do we start rapping over these chopped and screwed beats or do we, or who did it first? Who? That's what I was like. I want to look that up right now actually
I'm probably someone from Atlanta.
because there's no arguing it at all that DJ Screw did chopped and screwed. Like he invented that technique of production. But before that, it was just music DJ style, like where it's like he's taking samples of music, slowing it down, chopping it up. But then people started rapping over these chopped and screwed sampled beats, which was a
Yeah,
whole nother style.
that's how you get I Got Five on It. Someone took a DJ Screw song and they made I Got Five on It.
But see, here's the thing: DJ Screw's from Houston, right? So wouldn't it
Yeah.
make more sense that a Houston rap group would be the first? That's why I'm thinking Swish a House because tipping on 4/4s is almost a chopped and screwed beat. Like it's not.
No, fo-
It's
fo.
right there on the edge of being a chop and screwed. But
Are you saying is that the first like rap?
look up when the first Swish a House album came out, and I'm gonna look up when the first UGK album came out.
When when did Paul Wall came out?
That was until like the '90s, I don't think. Well, I guess DJ Screw was in the '90s, so. Wait a minute. This can't be right.
No, Paul Wall was in Swisher House. I'm so fucking stupid.
Yeah, he was in the. He was there. It was him, Mike Jones.
Like that's when he came out. Mac
Oh, he
Jones.
debuted with them? I didn't know that.
Yeah, in 1998 is when Swisher House came out.
So it says UGK started in '87, but so they could have probably rapped over a DJ Screw beat first. But who did you say first was the?
First what?
You said someone else rapped over a DJ Screw beat.
No.
Oh, when was? Because I remember last time we looked it up, T.I.'s first album. They said he has an album called Trap Music,
Yeah, it's called real trap music or whatever.
and that came out.
Trap music was originated in, as I said, Atlanta, Georgia in the 2000s. It was created by a number of producers and artists, including Shoddy Red, DJ Toomp, Drummel Boy, Zaytoven, and D Rich. So I guess all of these people worked closely together. And then it says they also worked with T.I., Jeezy, and Gucci Mane. So all of these people were a part of the same circle in Atlanta that started trap music.
So I'm gonna. It says yeah, T.I. is the first trap artist, is what it says. I just looked it up, but I wonder if they mean trap artist in the sense like he was trapping and that's how he made his living, or if it's like I don't know, but or if this is music for people who make a living trapping.
He is a trap. His music is about that kind of lifestyle.
But see, but Swisha House, I guess that's the difference. Swisha House was rapping over like a chopped and screwed beat, but they weren't rapping necessarily about flipping bricks and doing. I guess so. It's the context of the lyrics of like what they're actually speaking. Like, oh, this is me going out and I'm gonna I'm gonna hit a trick, bitch. I'm gonna flip a brick, bitch. Like that's
I'm gonna hit a lick, bitch.
so that's
I'm a shit a brick, bitch.
you covered freestyle like Debbie Deb. What is that? Is that like the first freestyle? See, freestyle too, that is like a separate thing because there's word of mouth, there's like or not word of mouth, spoken word and things like that where it's
That was like that original era that we were talking
yeah,
about.
when they're like
Well,
ciphering and
back then.
stuff.
That was like the original era of hip hop. It was
True.
that guy. He called it. What was it? It was
Oh yeah, the judge or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am the judge. I am the judge.
yeah.
So yeah, with that, trap music kind of evolved from being this like rap with the nuance of hey, we're talking about trap life, like we're talking about the bando, we over here flipping a brick, stuff like that. To people becoming like trap artists, like who the fuck would you call like is Designer a trap artist or
Yeah.
even Young Thug, right? That's like trap music.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever heard a Young Thug song. Is it Young Thug from fucking?
Yeah, it says trap music on here. That yeah.
Oh, it's from Georgia. He's an Atlanta rapper too. Just all the best rappers. Atlanta blew up one year, and everybody who was rapping in Atlanta just got famous
But see, that's
automatically.
the cool thing about Southern hip hop because Atlanta, you have a division of like, there's trap artists, and then you have artists like freaking Outkast and shit, like who are doing. It's like weird hip hop. It's not even. I don't even know what it is. Hip hop at the end of the day, but it's very non-conventional sounding,
Yeah,
and it's
alternative
sick.
hip hop,
It's
if you will.
badass. I love. That's like one of my favorite like hip hop groups. And they would just call them
Hell yeah.
Southern hip hop. But yeah, stuff like Young Thug, um, who is that other guy? Not Lil Peep. That's a different era. That kind of so trap music had this little spark of life, and it kind of got influenced by the edgelords of high school and shit like that. That's how you get that stuff, like where you had Lil Peep and fucking XXX Tentacion, which I fucked with him, but it was really edgy ass like emo rap shit, and it's to each their own. People fucked with it. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but a lot of people liked it.
I love a lot of Little Peep's music, and you can tell a lot of the people from the original like emo scene and everything really liked Little Peep too. Because as soon as he died, there were like so many bands covering his songs live.
But
I
see,
think even like Breathe Carolina was covering his songs.
with things like that, you have uh the conception of Suicide Boys though, because then they take the element of what Lil Peep was and run with that
Oh no,
rap element. They're like trap,
no,
like
pause.
what?
It was the same time. It was the same scene. They were like all together.
But they're different sounds. Like
They're different sounds, but like this, like oh, like it's not. It's the same, but different. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. They are different. They don't sound the same at all. Lil Peep is
Yeah, I'm
more
saying like
like he's like
the same scene.
it's different because you have other shit like the fucking like Blade and Young Lean, the Drain Gang shit, where that's real sad boy rap in my opinion. That's like the shit like how we were talking about Spooky Black the other day
Pause.
too. Stuff like that where it's kind of like
You're
emotional.
you're like grazing over this, all right? You
What
brought this up, and now I'm gonna hyper obsess over it.
I don't know enough to expand on it because I didn't like
So
that genre at all. It's cringy to me.
I like it.
I
It
still don't
was
like
people
Suicide
just
Boys
being
either.
sad. I mean, it's just as cringe as Corbin or Spooky Black, you know?
No, it's not the same because Corbin is sad,
It's
but
just like, oh, boo hoo, who
no, because
cares? Yeah.
Suicide Boys and Little Peep and all that shit, it's like edgy. It's not just sad. They're like, I'm gonna fuck this bitch and then I'm gonna slit her throat and then I'm gonna like they're like doing like horrorcore
Okay,
shit like that. I'm like, don't do that. Like
Little
just
Peep doesn't say that.
the Suicide Boys do though. They like fucking talk
No,
about
no,
this.
no. I'm saying Lil Peep doesn't say all
That's why I'm
that. Lil
saying
Peep is talking
Suicide
about
Boys and Lil
drugs and
Peep
sex.
don't sound the same. They just have the same aesthetic.
No, I was saying that they're part of the same crew all at the same time.
Like when you say
So
by
it's
the,
like,
you mean like they were like how
so
like
like, because you said your words were from Lil Peep came Suicide Boys, and I was like, that's not
that's
true.
not how I
It was
meant
all
it.
at the same time.
I meant like they took that
But that's how it came out of
aesthetic.
your mouth,
They
you
took
know?
that aesthetic of what like this edgy rapper boy persona and like took it with just instead of being like
Well,
because Little
they were
Peep would
part of
sing sometimes. He would
they were
actually like
into
have
like
melody.
hardcore music and metal and everything. The Suicide Boys, and that's kind of what they wanted to implement was like the edginess of hardcore and metal music.
But see,
The
they
the
remind
death
me
metal and shit like
they
that.
remind me of like how we were talking about earlier. Like it's like Hollywood undead type stuff like that. It reminds me of that era of like it's more horror like shock shit than it is sad boy. See, but it's just like with
That
Little
was
Peep, he
definitely
was more trying to follow that like pop hip hop realm and they were more rap.
well. So he was more influenced by Nirvana, I would say, and they were more influenced by like Wu Tang with a bit of fucking I don't know goth,
Cabbage
goth
says
Wu
three
Tang.
six Mafia. I could see that
Oh yeah, three
actually.
six, not Wu Tang.
I
I'm
could see
fucking thinking of
that for sure. Because 3 6 Mafia is edgy, but they're like hood edgy. They're
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, we're the
That's what I
guys
was talking
that
about.
do we had a séance once. Like
Also, if you want to say I'll say it. The Juggalos were doing it first. I'm
oh
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry. the Juggalos were doing it first.
And that's another
The
genre
Suicide Boys is just Juggalo music for edgy fucking emo people. You know what I'm saying?
that leads us
It's
in
like two
as a
sides
good
of the same
segue.
coin.
That's a good segue to the core. Like I wanted to cover on core genres where it's like you just take an ideology and you can make music off of that, and that is like ICP. It's horrorcore. It's they take this other subculture of like horror genre of like, oh, we wear this spooky face paint and we like rap about horror graphic themes like of super crazy explicit shit.
Graphic, crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of they build an entire fan base off of that core genre. Like it's a core part of like bringing people in,
And
which
this one's for Cabbage. Whoop whoop.
whoop, whoop. No, that my homie, the one that was glazing fucking new metal, my homie Dak. I love you, Dak. He was the one who put me onto that Primer 55 and all that shit. But
Yeah.
he loves ICP, and he's always talking about how like ICP actually goes hard. Like people need to, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge ICP fan, but I recognize that they're like super
Yeah.
good people in the community, and actually like
Yeah.
they like
I
shine
liked
lights on
ICP
things.
growing up, but I liked Twisted more. Twisted is probably more your style.
I hate Twist.
Twisted's fire, dude.
Dude, I saw them live and it made me want to shit myself. Maybe it's different now. Maybe
I
different
mean,
now.
now they're fucking. I mean, now they're like fucking 50-year-olds. I mean, you
I
know.
went to, was it Warp Tour, I think? And they were like,
No, okay, you don't see them at Warped Tour because they have the conflicting crowds, and they just shouldn't be on Warped Tour,
it was
man.
an
I
interesting
remember
set.
seeing Warped Tour, and everybody on one side of the crowd was like, "Shut the fuck up," and then Twisted was like, "Fuck everybody over there, bitch ass,"
Wait,
and then
we were probably at the same one actually. I forget.
that was a 2018 Warped Tour.
Yeah, who else was playing? There was I was at that
The
stage
one it was
waiting.
Chelsea Grin.
Yeah, I was
It was Chelsea
waiting.
Grin at
Yep,
that
that's
stage.
the exact same one. That was it. That's so funny.
It
I
was
did.
the Chelsea Grin fans were beefing with the Juggalos because they wanted to see Chelsea Grin, and the Juggalos wanted to keep watching the show. But everybody over here was chanting for them to get off stage, and then everybody over there was chanting for them to shut the fuck. And I was like, just shut it off, boys. I'm over here in the Chelsea Grin crowd talking about we don't die, serial killers, we don't die, freaks of the night, we don't die, and everybody around me is just like, get off the
Yes.
stage, boo, and I'm like,
I would have probably
that's
been the
my
guys like, get off the stage. I don't know. I'm just I appreciate it, and I appreciate that people can fuck with that music, but that's just not my style. It's just not my cup of tea. Whatever. It's cool that people can find those niches and just like expand an entire genre, like we were talking about. Like Nintendo Core
Yeah.
is one
Well,
of my niche favorite weird things that you could say that like not everybody would be a fan of.
yeah.
But the name I
Well,
Am Air,
hold on to keep it kind of more on that subject for a second before we move on to Nintendo Core. I just want to make this one bold hot take real quick. Ice Nine Kills is just ICP if
oh
they were a
yeah,
metalcore band. Move on.
absolutely.
Move on.
I
Quickly move on.
thought everybody knew that. Ice Nine Kills is just horrorcore. They literally sing about like Jason and all that shit, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nintendo Core though is like one of those genres that like changed my life completely. I remember hearing uh there's a band called I Am Air, and that's where I got my tag name from. And
Yep.
I got the tag name from okay. I found this band called Horse the Band. They're one of the best. I Set My Friends on Fire, another amazing band that I love and am getting to play a couple shows with, which is super fucking surreal. But those types of bands like changed everything. And it was just interesting to see like I saw this I was looking up Rainbow Road, the theme song, and there was a like next to it of like a picture of three piranha plants that looked all metalcore crazy looking and shit. And I was like, what is that? And I clicked on it, fucking changed my life. Like for real, changed my life. And I was like, what the fuck? I Am
This
Air.
was I Am Air.
Yeah, I Am Air, Do a Brutal Roll is a good song. Then there's 100 Dead Rabbits. They're great too. Like so many of these like bands that just not not everybody's cup of tea, but like
Even you had, we already talked about this band, but you had Sky Airplane in there too.
yeah, there was dude,
I like to bring them up every time I
She-Mel's from
can.
Outer Space of Death. That was another like Nintendo core band that
What
was
was
super
this? I
insane.
don't remember what this band sounds like, but for some reason, a band in my head just came up all of a sudden. Is they were called Kill Whitney Dead, and I have no idea. I don't remember what they sound
I
like.
have no I've never heard them.
Hold on, I'm gonna go listen to them. I don't know why that came into my
But
mind.
see,
Keep going.
a Nintendo core I feel like did change a lot of shit without people realizing it. Because for the people who were writing music and like actually putting stuff out, they were being influenced by that. And then you get artists like, I don't want to say Attack. Attack is straight up like, oh, Nintendo Core influenced me. But then they have like, you know what I'm talking about? Like they implement this synthesizer stuff that sounds really pretty and crazy. It was niche in like 2008. What the fuck? That's funny. No, yeah, it's that was one of those little pocket dimensions once you open it up. But it changed my life, like I said. And one of those artists uh reached out to me on Facebook to listen to an album, and I was like, okay. I was like a 14-year-old on fucking Facebook, or not Facebook, MySpace, checking my shit, and was like, this band wants me to listen to them? Hell yeah. And like, it was so cool. And then now you have a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of any sub genre of like culture. There's a fucking there's a core for it. Like there's crab core. There's
Yeah.
fucking what is a weird, I'm sure there's like brony core, like shit, like people who love brony music, they have like a fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
gotta be like a,
The Pony Core.
yeah, some shit like that. That crazy synth work definitely inspired early
What's an
metalcore.
actual one though? So, what's a crab core? We said that. Can't think of any off my head
I know,
though.
I'm like trying to think off the dome. Oh wait, I have notes. Let me look at these. I have Nintendo Core. Oh, Break Core. That's another thing that I wanted to touch on. Because I feel like right now, in the modern era, um, Breakcore and like that Y2K style of like techno and like not boom bap, drum and bass.
Yeah.
They've been resurging back in a more chaotic format. So now we have techno that's like sped up, fucking doused in
Drum and bass.
LSD, going insane. Like it's just fucking crazy. Yeah, it's like drum and bass is fucking brother with ADHD. Like it sounds so good in my opinion. If you don't know any breakcore artists, check out Oxygen, Cryptid Cabal. There's Sewer Slut is another good one. There's like a bunch of, even Machine Girl is another like breakcore esque where they're taking elements of like just chaos and noise and then turning it into like a pop song, which is crazy. It's in theory that sounds fucking insane, but to hear it is actually dope. And then pop has gone in a massively different direction. Like obviously you got your conventional pop music that everyone like listens to on the radio, but
I
even
feel like every
under
genre has their own pop genre,
oh
you
yeah,
know,
for
their
sure.
own pop subgenre. Because there's like pop rock, there's like metal pop, which is like that hyper pop, you
Yeah.
know, and there's just like people rap and that's pop, like Drake, you know. There's like all kinds of pop. I think every genre has its own genre of pop
Yeah,
music.
like you can add an element of pop into like anything. And that's why I think it was a pillar. That's where I'm like this had to have been a pillar cuz you
Oh
can
fuck.
make a fucking like you can make any song with a pop element to it. Like look
Yeah.
at Poppy. Poppy is a metal pop band. Like they do fucking straight up that. Like it's not
Yeah,
melodic
exactly.
metal, it's pop metal. It's different. Like it's weird in my opinion, but yeah. Yo, D and
Yeah.
D core, check out Unicorn Hole. You won't be disappointed. Oh, see, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like that even goes into like anime openers and shit, like anime music
Well,
and
that's
like
what I
intros.
said. A lot of those are just math rock songs.
True, like Japanese. Well, J rock is what they call it. That's like the actual genre name. J rock and
Yeah.
J pop, whatever the fuck. But it's like it's just crazy because all that stuff, like city pop, is coming back too. Like that old '70s style, like Japanese city pop. It's kind of coming back into the forefront of what's happening. But you also have
A lot of people like
artists
it.
like Jack Stauber who do lo-fi pop music, which is like taking pop elements and then just flipping it on its head and making it scary. Like it's like, oh, this is a pop song, but now it's like the reverse of what we're talking about. Like, oh, this is a rock song with a pop element. He's making pop music and adding a fucking indie or weird element, like an avant-garde noise element to it almost. So it's just not something you would that thing I told you to watch last night, that Opal short film. Remember how I was telling you
Yeah.
that guy,
Yeah, I
Jack
remember we were
Stauber,
talking about them.
he made that movie and he does all the like score and everything for it. Future pop will just culture vulture other subgenres. Yeah, dude, and
That's what it does already.
it is doing that already. Yeah, because
That's what it does already.
I think
That's pretty much what we just said it does.
the future of pop, I think, will be more chaotic than what hyperpop is right now because they're pushing the boundaries of what works and doesn't. Like I said with Jack Stauber, he's doing lo-fi pop, and that's even the newest album by Foxing, if you haven't listened to it yet, which I did a video of on my YouTube page as my top 3 albums of 2024. Foxing's self-titled
Watch it.
album was on there. Yeah, go check it out. It's linked below. It should be linked below in my I Am Air link
Sub to
tree.
the YouTube channel, Double Dog Dare.
That too. Listen to
And
him
I am Air AAA and
and stand
Stenciled.
still. Yeah, we're doing this shit. Go sub to all the
Yeah,
pages.
and
Show some
I'm
love.
fucking YouTubing. I got videos coming out where I do a bunch of stupid wrestling quizzes
Hell yeah.
and fail.
So we're gonna be just bumping content out. Yeah, content and content. But yeah,
Yeah.
on there I covered Foxing's self-titled album, and that album is like an avant-garde. It's like anti-pop. It's like pop music at its core, but they're playing with a bunch of different elements of like goth almost. Like they're bringing it's like gothy pop music, which it sounds
Dark
fucking
Vic.
weird. Almost.
Exactly.
You literally have to listen to the album to understand what I'm talking about because it's
What are
a
we talking about?
Foxing's self-titled album they put out last year. It's a really that's what I'm saying. I feel like
Boxing?
yeah, like that's where I feel like pop music is kind of on its way to instead of like the hyper pop.
Okay, because you lost me somewhere in there.
Yeah, you walked off. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, no, no. Way before that.
oh,
Way before that. Way before. I was like,
so like punk pop. Like you actually just have to go listen to the album. There's a song called Kentucky
foxing,
McDonald's
right?
on
Just
there.
foxing.
Yeah, Foxing's self-titled album.
Okay, and so you want to know where Rock is going?
Where
Bill Murray.
I can see that. Yeah. It's not my favorite thing, but I definitely, yeah. It's whether we like it or not, electronic music is here for the long haul, and it's only going to like its roots are getting deeper and deeper into what like sound is now, because it just makes it easier to be a producer now with the more tech and things. But it's crazy. Like everything's produced well, sounds nice. Bill Murray is a good example of what like would that be rock or metal? What would you consider? Is that yeah? It is more
Bill
rock.
Murray is a rock band.
No, because if you would, if I'm gonna say what the future of rock would be, okay, no, Bill Murray is a good candidate. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying, like he's getting really popular,
No,
and I
he
feel like
is.
it only goes up from here. And he just has like a vibe that I think kind of nails that dad vibe, that hell yeah, I'm gonna go mow the lawn and sip a cold beer, and that's what I feel like rock leaned into during the post grunge days,
Right? Yeah.
and I feel like there's a new generation of dads now, and I feel like this is Bill Murray is like their version of that.
No, that makes sense for sure. Because they definitely have that. Well, I mean, look, their demographic are dads now. Like that's who they're writing for and shit.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about it, all of the fucking teenagers that listen to Attack Attack are adults now
Right.
listening to Bill Murray,
Exactly.
and
They
it's the same
follow.
singer. So,
So I would say that is a good candidate, but then also with like artists, because this band isn't really relevant anymore. But there's artists like Death from Above. They're very like it's like rock, but that's more like on the garage side. And then
yeah,
you have other artists like
that's like the bar scene here.
what is that one band that sings fucking Lydia? What is the name of that band?
Lydia the band or a song called Lydia?
Song called Lydia. Uh Highly Suspect.
Highly suspect.
Yeah, so they give me that's like a I don't, they're not really as relevant as they once were, but that's where I saw like rock music heading for sure. Like it's more of like this. I guess that's blues. If I'm actually gonna get technical with it, it's more on the bluesy side. It's
Oh,
interesting.
I see what you mean. Yeah, because you know who this is similar to like Maroon 5.
Yeah, it's got like that
This
same.
is pretty fire.
It's good. I like it. But as far as like metal music is
Actually, I think
experimenting a
I've
lot.
heard some of their other songs.
You definitely have. They were big as fuck at a point. There's like metal though right now they're doing a bunch metal and hardcore. They're having a lot of like crossbreeding with like hip hop and and more of those like adding a hood element to their sound and to their swagger and
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're
I mean,
adding
if you think about it, hardcore and punk has always been hood as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
true, but I mean like they're adding that element
But
of it
different
being
flavor of
like
hood.
they're just like now they're adding the element of like cholo hood, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like they're trying to make it more ethnic, which is cool. It's not like a bad thing or anything, but they're adding more of that like
What are you talking about?
well, you're canceled right now. Fuck off. But
No. I'm saying like who are you referring to? Give me examples. I
well,
know I know like Kublai Khan maybe.
that and then there's like artists like the one I was showing I showed it to you a while back. They're called fuck, now I can't think of this. Let me look it up real quick. It's called
I'm
Ice
like
Cube. Oh, 22 22 something.
22 Savage,
No. What is it?
Creedmoor,
No.
22 Hornet,
Let me look it up.
22 weeks pregnant,
No.
22 Taylor Swift,
21 children.
21 Jump Street. Oh wait, I think I remember you telling me to look this up before. 21 Children Band.
Yeah, that's the name of the band, but it's like very like I
Mhm.
love it because hardcore is one of the most like I don't want to say like accepting cuz I don't know how to explain it. They're gatekeepy as fuck.
Diverse.
They're gatekeepy as fuck, but they're open to demographics. They're like, yeah, we want to include everybody, but don't listen to my music. Don't listen to our music. This is our shit. Like they're like, it's weird. The culture's weird with that one.
It like it's a mindset, and just certain people fit the mindset, and people of color fit the mindset more than a lot of people not of color nowadays, you know what I mean?
But we even talked about body count, I think, last week, and they kind of resemble that sentiment, I guess. Like
Yeah,
it's hardcore, but
listen
from
to
another ethnicity, like giving us a viewpoint.
you can even go we you could talk about trap metal too. We have like Unity, Notions, and Dropout Kings right now just absolutely fucking shredding the scene,
Right.
and they all have bars, dude. Excuse me.
And that's we were listening to fucking Paleface Swiss right before we started the
Oh yeah,
podcast, and that was like some
that one was
definitely
great
like
too.
it's you can see where metal is like leaning towards, and like the heavy stuff is leaning more towards like an ethnic uh blending, which is dope. Like for them to blend that cultural thing to what metal is. Like that band is from Switzerland, and then for them to do a rap part, like a spoken word into like a hip hop, then just metal. Like it's a crazy juxtaposition.
You're talking about the 21 Children Ice Cube one?
I was talking about that Paleface Swiss song, that we were listening
Okay, yeah,
to.
yeah. Dude, he almost went from sounding like La Dispute
Yeah, that's what I'm
to
saying.
into like a hip hop vibe, into like it into metal, and it's just fire. It just progressed and progressed and progressed, and it was good. It was a good song.
So it's cool to see those types of genres like finally shaking hands and getting to know each other and stuff. So I'm trying to fucking see what the next genres that are like unexpected to do something like that. It's gonna be interesting. But another genre I do want to cover before
Uh,
we go into that actually is
let's do 80s city pop, the Japanese city pop, mix it with trap metal.
that's baby metal. They already did it.
No, with trap metal though, because so there's like rapping in the verse, and then the girl comes in with the "Oh, doo, doo," like
How was that? Doo doo.
the clean singing choruses, the city pop in the chorus, trap in the verses.
I don't doubt
I
that
might be
already
onto
exists.
something,
I'm
man.
sure in Japan they already have something like that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
if
doubt
somebody
it.
can find that, fucking take my money.
Link that shit. But yeah, Midwest emo, that was another genre that we didn't get to touch really on, which is funny because that's like one of my favorite genres ever, and we still haven't
That
talked about
doesn't
it
exist.
yet. That doesn't exist. So yeah,
I'm
with
joking.
Midwest emo, in my opinion, Cap'n Jazz was
That
the
actually,
first. People will say that it was American football, but shut the fuck up. No, it wasn't. It was fucking Cap'n Jazz. And on top of that, my
Captain
other
Jazz.
hot take,
Captain Jazz was Scrams, wasn't it?
no, it was Midwest emo. That's like the
I might be getting
first
my shit wrong.
Midwest emo shit. There's a band called Captain Jazz. They're more recent. But Cap'n Jazz, like the OG Cap'n Jazz.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're emo. Like at their full core, it's emo. And there's this big debate on who the first like. So first wave emo is obviously fucking Rites of Spring and all that shit. But the second wave of emo, there's a big debate on, was it Captain Jazz, was it American football, or was it Brave Little Abacus? And here's what I'm gonna say right here: the Brave Little
It was
Abacus,
God.
the Brave Little Abacus was the first hyperpop album to ever be created, and it, you can't convince me otherwise. Like, there's no debating that because
What are you talking about? What's it called?
uh, I don't know. I think the album is just called The Brave Little Abacus 2. The Brave Little Abacus. Joker, if you're still in here, you might like them. They sample Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff. And they do a bunch of just weird, it's fucking crazy sounding. Listen to Plile 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 if you're gonna look up a song. Um but it's like that was the precursor to what like hyperpop wasn't even in a concept until like the last 10 years, and this guy was writing music like this, which is like groundbreaking. So yeah, give the Brave Little Abacus a listen if you haven't already. It's interesting music for sure. One of the best like emo hyper pop, like I said. It's like the hyper pop grandfather. Um so that's my hot take on that. But the
Oh
first,
my God.
I told you it fucks. It's good. It even has like a Nintendo Core element to it, but it's just not quite Nintendo Core.
Yeah. When did this come out? This
I
band,
think
Brave Little
95.
Abacus. Oh man, that's fire. Okay, keep going. My bad.
Uh, I'm looking it up real quick. What? It says 2007. I thought it was earlier than that. Oh, but yeah. Besides that, American Football is the other band that everyone says was the first Midwest emo band, just because they have all the twinkly stuff. But here's the thing: Captain Jazz is before American Football. Like, Captain Jazz had to break up so American Football could form. That's the only way. So like Captain Jazz was the precursor. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it because the Kinsella brothers were both in Captain Jazz, and they were making a new sound. They were making what they thought was punk, and it was not punk. They cornered what emo Midwest emo would become after they broke up. And I think it was Mike Kinsella. Wait up. Um,
Yeah. They're basically doing squeaky voice over mid-toned guitars. Pretty good. That always sounds great.
So the Kinsella that was on American football, yeah, Mike Kinsella, he was the one who went and ran with the concept of what Captain Jazz was and invented American football, and that was like that was the okay. So I guess American football is the first. Like, yes, this is like American Midwest emo, whatever, but Captain Jazz was the concept. That was the fucking blueprint. If Captain Jazz never happened, we would never have American football, and we would never have Midwest emo, which is fucking cool. Those guys, to think two brothers innovated the landscape of what that music was. Crazy.
Yep.
Cool shit.
And that was before, and then that inspired what Silverstein.
A lot of that type of shit, dude. Like,
no, if you hear Silverstein, they're like heavily influenced by the Midwest emo.
A lot of those artists, like, because there's this is another video we'll get into another time where we talk about the waves of emo, because I'm very passionate about that in particular.
Oh yeah.
But that particular second wave of emo happening, it influenced shit like Thursday, fucking Finch, fucking Haste the Day, all these like amazing post-hardcore bands.
Brand new.
Yeah. All a bunch of fucking even, well, no, maybe not. What's it called? I can't remember their name now. But they were probably happening around the same time. But yeah, that's Midwest emo, and right now it's like popping the fuck off. There's a lot of huge bands that people love. I wouldn't consider Hot Mulligan or fucking any of that shit Midwest emo, but people call it that. That's what I'm saying. People call it hot. People call them Midwest emo all the time, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
Same with
that's pop punk.
Same with like when I think Midwest emo, I'm thinking of bands like Trish and who else right now?
What was the one that had the pizza on their video on their cover?
That's Tiger Jaw. Nah, they're more like pop punk too, I would say. Midwest emo's more like Tiny Moving Parts. You have let me look at my wall back here.
Okay. And then there's a scene in pop punk / Midwest emo, correct? Where nobody claims this. Nobody claims this little scene. And I'm talking about the Story So Far neck deep scene.
Yeah.
Where they sing like that, and it's kind of like punk based, but still has that emo element over it, and the pop punk Midwest emo singing.
See, that's why when people tell me that that's emo, I'm like, it's not. That's pop punk. Like they're just singing with emo timbre. That doesn't make it emo. Though.
Yeah. So I say that it's pop punk, but a lot of people say that it's emo. And a lot of people say, like, he says it's easycore, but I thought, wasn't easycore...
That would fall under there. I could see that. Because, like, A Day to Remember is, like well, not anymore. They used to be.
I thought easycore was kind of like metalcore, almost.
No, it's like Belmont. Do you know who Belmont is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that kind of, or maybe a little lighter.
So it's metalcore pop punk.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what but no, these bands don't fall under that either. They would fall
It's because like they throw in the occasional like punk beats. It's like and everyone's like, "Oh my god, look at them go." Like they're so crazy.
But
Um,
yeah, no, it's definitely pop punk, right?
I agree 100
Neck
million
deep.
percent. I don't care for that type of music because I feel like it's a
I
industry
love it.
plant type shit.
Have you noticed me lately?
It feels
I know I've been giggling
curated,
to
but
see my words
I
to
get I
better.
get the appeal. Obviously, like people want like easy listening. Like not everybody wants to like think when they're listening to shit, which is understandable.
Yeah,
But
I like it. I don't know.
for the
I don't
opposite
love
end
it,
of
but I
that,
like it.
you have bands like there fucking why can't I think Toe, who else? Trico, Yvette Young, like all these people who are doing like this mathy, rocky sounding shit, and it's just beautiful. Like it's like listening to like video game background music, but more beautiful. It's like metal's awkward step cousin trying to fit in.
Hey guys, I'm cool. It's like the uncle that tries to hang out at the kids'
Hey,
table,
what
you
up,
know.
Unk?
Hello guys, I am here to hang out with you all. Swag.
But yeah, those are like all the genres I would say are like current, up to date. Well, we didn't really touch on SoundCloud or rap really too much because that's kind of
No, I'm joking. SoundCloud rap was influential. And you're talking like Lil Nas X and all them.
so. What's funny about SoundCloud rap? There's there's a song by Little B where he samples an American football song. He samples
Shit, I didn't know that.
I think he samples freaking Neverment, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no! I'm lying. He sampled something even more emo, which is crazy as fuck. Cause I didn't even know who Lil B was, and then my homie was like, "Bro, you didn't know Lil B sampled? He sampled movies like Juno by Midwest Pen Pals, who were one of the fucking best Midwest emo bands to do it. Right here, actually, on my arm, I got a tattoo of that band. I love them.
I'm
Show up.
watching on a delay.
Oh, you
I
can't even
can't
see it
see
over. It's all covered up.
it.
But yeah, that they became a band called William Bonney, who's like one of the best scrams bands ever, and I love them. But yeah, the fucking Little B. That's the cool thing about SoundCloud rap is it's hip hop that's not trying to act cool at all. Like it's them being authentically themselves. So it's kind of like got a punk element to it
Yeah.
in that regard, which is
Well,
pretty cool.
Lil Nas X, he broke out on SoundCloud too. And he actually sampled a WWE wrestler's theme song.
That's sick.
And the wrestler, it's a Japanese wrestler named Shinsuke Nakamura. And basically, the song was just like a very good like violin song with a drum beat, you know. And the fans would sing this melody la da 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 over it. So Lil Nas X took the instrumental and then basically like remixed it and then added the chant singing, you know, like how the crowd does in WWE, and he put that on his newest album, that Pink album, and the song is called Nakamura, and I thought that was like an interesting thing because like you don't get that from a bunch of people sitting around writing your album for you, you know. That
Yeah,
is something he did himself, you know, that he saw on TV and he was all like, that shit is badass, I'm gonna remix that, you know.
like SoundCloud rap is important because it is like it's the equivalent to what indie music is for singer-songwriters. It's It's rappers completely taking full control of what's going on and making art that they authentically want to make, that with no like restrictions at all, which
Yeah.
is super cool. Like, even if you don't like the music, which I'm not a huge fan of a lot of it, but there are certain artists that I can appreciate for that specific reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Because,
I think if you're just making music that sounds good to you, then you're doing good.
well, it
You know.
also has that core element because you're baking a culture into your rapping. Like, you're like, say you're an artist and you drop a bar about Dragon Ball Z on SoundCloud where people can access your music heavily, they're gonna fuck with you just because of that. Like, they're like, this guy listens to DBZ, so do I. Like, I like that bar. Like, they literally, just because they can identify a specific thing. And now you
Yeah.
see artists
Well, that's always
implementing
been a
that,
thing in rap.
but they're doing it more where it's pop culture in the sense of like nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
Back then it used to all be about, look at how much money I spent on my ice and look at how much fucking this yak is and all this
No,
shit.
it was always there. You just had to dig deeper. I mean, you wouldn't consider like I call that ego rap. And then I call the other spectrum, the other side to that, I call that just like vibe rap, you know.
But I don't
And
think
I
it's
say like,
always been
you know,
there.
like MF Doom, he was just a guy wearing a fucking a Doom mask, you know.
But see, he was probably
And
the
his
first
friend Mr.
person.
Fantastic, you know.
He was probably the first person to do that, where he's like rapping about cartoon characters and like making up
Yeah.
these characters too, of like, which is, it was probably cringy as fuck to a lot of MCs because they were like, what the fuck, this guy doesn't get bitches. Like, he's singing about eating cereal and making cartoons and, or like watching cartoons and shit like that, because it's,
Yeah.
the ideology was completely different, and that I think was an
Yeah.
important division of like, oh, you can rap about being just a guy and it's okay. Like, that's fucking fine. So I guess MF Doom
Yeah.
actually, no, RZA did it first. RZA did it first. Cuz he was, they released an album first.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Dre
yeah.
did.
Wu-Tang did that.
Yeah, Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang did that too.
for sure. Yeah.
You want me to drop a bombshell on you that you might not know?
What?
Speaking of Dr. Dre, uh, Dr. Dre had Craig Owens on a song on one of his albums, and it was unlisted. It was an unlisted feature.
That's crazy. Craig Owens.
He's literally like he's literally in like 2 seconds in the opening of one of Dr. Dre's songs.
The fuck?
Oh, and you have ICP too, where they're kind of the same, you know, because like you had that niche, that subdivision of film, you know, which was horror that they took from a lot, and they used the graphicness of the horror to make that style. So they were doing it too. It was always there. You just had to dig a little deeper to
But
get
see,
to it, you
the
know.
other thing with SoundCloud though, they implemented to not being so serious in a full different landscape as well, to where like, now you have artists right now like Dave Blunts and Miles, where it's like, these guys are funny
You
as
know,
fuck.
Miles is the greatest fucking rapper of all time, and there's no debating it, you motherfuckers.
Dude,
Kendrick's the goat, though.
genuinely, I love Dave Blunts. Like, Dave Blunts is one of the best artists out right now doing like their thing, because it's just genuinely him writing about what he's going on through, like what's going on in his life. And on top of it, it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's like borderline parody shit, but it's like a meme, and that comes up
And
to
he
the
gets.
culture.
Did you see the video of him standing up and the crowd popping for it?
Jesus. He's like, all
He
I had
like
to do
stood
was,
up, and the crowd's like, ah.
look, when all you have to do is stand to get an ovation. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, you gotta stand to get your standing ovation.
That's crazy.
But
That's
he's
crazy.
great as a musician and stuff. And that's the cool thing about what SoundCloud Rap did. It made it okay to be like a meme at the same time. Like,
It Well, it gave that power back to the people. Because remember, we were talking about, I think, our second episode where I was saying that music and art in general was a way for people who were artistic in lower income
yeah,
households to break through the mold and become rich or gain that financial stability through their art. So, like, that kind of, and that was taken away at a certain point. Like I was saying, like for a while it was just industry plants all
yeah,
over the charts, and I feel like we're
absolutely.
taking that back, you know.
I'm so fucking
Artistic.
artistic. Same, bro.
I'm artistic as well.
But yeah, the other part of that I wanted to talk about was just parody music, because that's another thing that like parody and comedy albums have been around for like as long as record record syndication and production has been around. Like you can't you can't deny that like comedy's been a form of entertainment just as long as music has been. So of course they're gonna
Yeah.
record it so people can just laugh at home or whatever, have a ghost telling them
Hell yeah.
jokes. Like ha ha ha.
Parody comedy has been around
Weird
for
Al
so
goat.
long.
Yeah, because Weird Al, he did amazing music, and like I be lying if I didn't say I loved Weird Al when I was a kid. Like it was one of the
Yeah.
greatest things to like
Okay,
jam to.
so remember how I told you when I was a wrestler, my theme song was Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus?
Yeah.
So that was whenever I turned heel as a bad guy. Before that, my gimmick was that I was a nerd. And my theme song was White and
Oh my
Nerdy
god.
by Weird Al. So
God damn.
we're all wrapping all this shit back around.
But
Full circle.
yeah, stuff like that, because rappers would see that and be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" But now rappers can make fun
I
of
bet they
shit.
would get legitimately triggered back then.
Yeah, for sure. But now someone can drop a bar like Miles, any bar. I can't like Martin Luther King had a dream. That's bars right there. Like people can listen to that and be like, "That's funny," and not
I think
think twice about
since
it.
we're diving so deep into rap right now, for some reason, we just need to talk about the GOAT, Super Hot Fire.
Oh my god.
Yeah. His influence on the culture alone was probably greater than any of the people we've spoken about
Oh my
in
god.
this entire video.
Battle rap though is a completely like different thing because
Yeah, I don't know shit about battle rap, and battle rap fans take their battle rap shit seriously, so
fuck
I'm not
yeah.
even gonna pretend like I know.
Bitch, I'm like Genghis Khan. Oh shit, that's that fucking Toda Scooby deep fucking cut. Or what is it? Toda Spooky? I said Scooby. Toda Scooby. Yeah, there's just it's. I feel like hip hop is the one to talk about mostly because that's like what it gets experimented with the most, at least nowadays. Because
Yeah. And by the way, guys, I don't know if we've talked about this since we had to reset. But next time we stream, next time we go live for this podcast, we're gonna have the homie on. His name is Stevie Candle, and he just put out a song called Sorry. Check out the song and show up next episode
if you don't
for his appearance.
stream
And
his
we're gonna
new
talk about
song, we will find you. I will find each one of you in the chat. Listen to the new song. Put his link in the. Put a link down. You have mod
Oh
control
god.
on the Twitch. Yeah, y'all
But
check
yeah,
that shit
his
out.
song just dropped yesterday. So check that out.
And our next
Stevie
filming
Candle.
of the podcast is going to be in 2 weeks from now. So be sure to come back. We're probably going to shoot for, I guess, 8 next time. 8 seemed to be the good time. Or maybe
Oh,
we'll
7
start.
was great this
Yeah,
time.
we'll start at 7 and do like a preamble before we get into it. So yeah, try to show up at 7, hang out. We got.
Oh, I'm on my. Oh my fucking.
I'm on it.
I'm not signed in on this.
Pre-jam sesh? Yeah, hell yeah. Show up early so we can like show song recommendations. Now that we are like caught up with the music fucking timeline,
Yeah.
we're probably going to be expanding more on specific genres and getting deeper. Maybe on specific bands who were influential on those genres too. So if there's
Rather than just the first person to do it.
right any genres or bands that you guys might have interest in, this episode will be airing next Friday. So go comment whenever that's
Yes.
live. And you,
Like, comment, subscribe, and if you would like, then I mean, maybe we could like go on a date or something. I don't know. I have a lot of time on my hands, so
I could clear up
I'm
my
getting nervous.
calendar.
I'm sorry.
But no, I like the idea of a pre-jam sesh. I think it would be cool if you guys like throw in song recommendations and we can jam them live here, check them out. And we can like if there's a song specifically that you guys are curious like what genre do you think this is? We can all like dissect it together and
Exactly.
get into
That's
it.
what we're here for. Even if it's something you know is, oh, this is a metalcore song, I'm gonna send it to them anyways.
Right.
We're trying to take every song we can and put it on a list that says all of this is this. You know?
On that note, I forgot old Ray told me to react to that fucking Billy Burger thing real quick, so I'm gonna pull that up. We'll dissect a genre before we end out tonight
Don't
too.
do that. No, I'm joking.
Don't, please.
Please, for the love of God. I'm gonna send this song into general. But yeah, guys, Stevie Candle, next stream.
Yeah, y'all be sure to show up for the next stream so we can deep dive farther into hip
Gets
hop
locked.
with somebody who knows more what they're talking about. We have our appreciation, but I'd rather get an opinion from somebody who's devoted their entire life to an art form like hip hop. That would be really interesting to hear a take on. Because I feel like a lot of my takes would be controversial to somebody who listens to a lot of hip hop.
Yeah, we might have offended a few people with some of the things you said. We're only people doing research on the internet. You know, we didn't live this shit. We haven't like, you know, we're not hyper fixated on this. We're hyper fixated on what we like. So we're gonna bring in guests that can, you know, further elaborate on things that they like. You know.
And I would like to hear what he thinks about the takes we came up with, because maybe we can broaden someone else's opinion. Like, I want to know what he thinks about that KRS-One thing and the boom bap. I'm interested, honestly. I have questions. Like, so
Yeah.
if there's any other, like I said, songs, whatever. Fucking Ray, can you link your thing to the Discord so we can review this shit?
Do you guys wanna? We should listen to this song on stream.
Which one? Oh,
Stevie Candle.
Yeah, I'll play it.
So let's do an outro real quick for YouTube, and then we're gonna chill.
Yeah, bet. So yeah, this is where modern music, I would say, kind of gets to now. Like, this is where we have come to in modern music, and what the future holds is going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to see what happens. We have our little ideas of where it might go, so yeah, be sure to check in next time. We're going to have who is it? Stevie.
Stevie Candle.
Stevie Candle. As
Guys,
our
check us
guest.
out next time. We're gonna have Stevie Candle out here. He is a rapper from San Antonio, Texas. Alaska based as well. He goes to Alaska sometimes. So if you're out there, you could probably catch him sometimes. But yeah, this is Define the Line podcast. I am Stencil.
I'm Javi. I am Air, whatever the hell.
Air
Yeah.
666.
Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, appreciate you guys. And give us ideas. Give us chat. Give us.
Tell us we're wrong.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Come with receipts.
Come on receipts.